This week is I've been soaking.
Go ahead, we're recording now.
Oh, well, shucks. Awesome. Hey, so the thing I really want to report this week is I've got this aged or evolving, more accurately evolving urine tub in my little apartment here. It's sanitary and safe thanks to hydrogen peroxide and negative ions. And pictures are up on the Shivambu hut. When I'm sitting in there for extended periods of time, stuff comes out of my skin at such a rate that if I take my nails and I scrape it across my chest, it's just like pulling off centimeters. It's like of thickness of, it's just coming off me, just all this stuff coming out of my skin. And that's with like, I'm sitting in it and it's like above my belly button and my whole body is just pushing stuff out through the skin. It's insane. Oh yeah, structured water. That would be the other part of this. Is like I feel like urine therapy is super amazing because the quality of the water molecules itself, not just what's in the water, although that is also fantastic with urine therapy. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Let's go over to Indira.
I have a question for Matt. You are sitting in old urine that is how many days old?
Good question. Thanks. So I'm putting all my urine in there. So some of it is absolutely fresh. I had a starter basically from the stuff I had been aging. And the oldest was 6 months, about 3 months ago. So I have some in there that's like 9 months old. And I think that oldest urine is what is giving it its black color. Because certainly the whole tub is black, although the majority of it is relatively new. Yeah, it's actually really beautiful. One other thing, I constantly am putting it through cheesecloth. This extracts the thin mucus that's throughout the whole tub and the sediment, which drastically improves the smell. So that is a must, in my opinion.
Okay. and also when you are saying all this stuff that is coming out of your body, the skin, what exactly it is? Is it like some old dead cells or anything like that? Or
so whenever you sweat, if you were to scrape your skin, you'd get a little bit of dead skin off in your fingers. I'm just talking about a massive amount of that.
Okay. So, I mean, it's nothing like that your skin is coming off.
No, sorry. It's just a bunch of dead skin. But the thing is, it has to be more than just skin, right? It's it's kind of oily, Dirt, yeah, just crud. Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's keep going. Indira and Vijay, would you like to give us a 2 or 3 minute update on your urine therapy journey? Just a couple of minutes.
Journey. You want to say 2-3 minutes?
Well, I wrote to you that for me the biggest achievement of AUT was it allowed me to quit smoking. That was a big relief that I don't smoke anymore.
Vijay,
but
when did
the AUT,
he's asking.
What
when
year?
did that happen? When did you stop smoking?
When did you stop smoking?
93.
Ah.
Amazing.
I can vouch for him. When I met Vijay, he used to smoke pipe. He used to, do all kinds of things. That was the only thing I asked in my marriage to him, that he has to quit smoking. Okay, that was my kind of demand. He didn't do it. He was, kind of doing behind the door. He will say, no, he has quit, but I can smell or something, So anyway, it took him all these, I would say maybe 20 years. But then when he did it, I think AUT really, really helped him. That is I vouch
Sandy?
for it.
Joined the meeting.
So as a result of that, VJ, would you say that Indira has kissed you more than ever?
What-
Have I kissed you more than ever?
No,
He
No.
said no. But anyway, no, what I have to share is I think that the old, aged, ever evolving urine, it is very effective. So if you really want to get some good results, do start with few drops in the ears or nose or on your tongue or your teeth and see the results.
Yeah, no, I'm experiencing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to go to McLean in just a minute here. Now, the reason I've upgraded the term aged to evolving urine, because it has a different impact for me by using that terminology. We're trying to avoid words that polarizing people. And for me, that word aged and aging, people always associated with, oh, you're getting old and you're aging, you're losing your strength, da 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 da. But you see, the moment it's already gone through the millions of nephron and it's been purified and filtered out and you collect it, it's beginning to evolve immediately. So
Yes.
aging doesn't necessarily mean 3 months, 6 months, a year. Evolving, aging, as they used to say it, or Monica Shute calls it maturing urine. It's evolving. And considering this is an evolutionary water and we're evolutionaries, it seems befitting that we call our water evolutionary water. That's where that came from. McLean, unmute yourself. We want to hear about what's going on with you. Take a couple, 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, hi everyone. So I came to urine about 45 years ago and someone just mentioned it, a girlfriend mentioned it and said, oh, it's good on pimples. And I just took off, and I think Armstrong's book and another one were the only ones at the time that I could find. And so I've been practicing for a long time. And my latest thing is I've been shampooing, and last night I looked and I thought, is my white hair getting darker? And it is not my intention. I love my white hair. So I was like, well, wait a minute. But, I'll continue to report because of the current, it's wet now, so you don't see as much white. But anyway, I thought, oh no. And, I'm pretty healthy. So I'm doing generally sort of eye things. I'm thinking, oh, can I improve my eyesight? I don't know how I don't know how long that will take. I try to put drops in every day, a few times a day. I haven't done the goggles yet. I'm working on the trying to put together, sort of spearhead with everyone's help, the urine spotlight. We just got an interesting article I need to talk to you, Sage, about from another place in the world that is a newsletter. I couldn't quite tell. I didn't have time. Anyway, it's sort of interesting how to make it fun and how to report what people are saying and how to pull in articles, and we'll see when we can launch it or whatever, how to, do we send it out to you and people approve it? Anyway, urine has completely, not dominated, but been part of my life for a long time. And I think it's great. And one of the most difficult things is to stand by and hear people talking about what they're doing, the standard medicine for things that it's like, oh my God. And, I've tried to say it, but I think attraction, not promotion. People don't just take to it, as everyone knows. I soak my feet and so much comes off, and maybe it's just feet, but I'm thinking that, oh my God, and it feels like skin to me, but more than what, I don't know, just a rub would do.
Yeah.
Hey, McLean, when you soak your feet, how long do you soak them for?
Oh, sometimes for 45 minutes, an hour.
Wow.
But it seems like right away, like when I'm in the shower, sometimes I pour some aged or fresh or whatever I have on my feet at the end of the shower, and I rub, and it's like, wow, just that little bit, like just pulled it off. But again, maybe it's just sort of surface skin, dead skin or something, but
I really can confirm that it just can't be just surface dead skin by the amount I'm pulling off. Whew.
yeah. Anyway, I'm grateful for this in my life. I'm grateful that there's a community. For so long, I had no idea about a community, and all's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and has anybody noticed that the folks on the screen are looking younger and more radiant? I've been watching you guys for a year now. Something's getting better. We don't see Suzanne's face, but I'm sure she's getting younger and healthier. And Flora and Sandy and Dira, go ahead. We're going to move over to Christopher.
I'm seeing, I have seen you getting so much change, really. I mean, it sometimes, some spots show up and they go away,
Yeah.
So it is ever cleansing, ever improving.
Well, I did not do a lot. I put it on my skin, but I didn't focus on, being young and I'm going to have wrinkles. And here I am old and I have, I have lines, and I've started being more vigilant about putting it on. And the lines aren't necessarily going away, but everything is soft and my skin is, my skin is great. And so, maybe it keeps wrinkles from, if you, some of you people I can't see, Sandy and Suzanne, Floor, young. I would be nice to be around to hear your report later, but yeah, and math.
Oh, about your,
You froze, Matt.
actually, I think I picked myself. Without regrowing, is the hair getting darker?
That's what it seems like. But I can't, again, I just like last night said, do I have more dark in my hair? So I'll see. It's not regrowing.
Which is so strange. It's like it's more alive than just dead.
But I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true. But I'll report.
I think it
We'll
is.
see if
Stay
I
with it,
become-
guys. We want to
I
hear
become-
from everybody.
yeah.
Let's go over to Christopher now.
Hey, everybody. So I'm Christopher. I'm in Boulder. I've been practicing for about 30 years. The stuff that's on my radar screen, one, doing the newsletter with McLean, excited about that. Working on a manifesto. We've got the protocols on a page on our website. Sage developed them and I put them up as the webmaster, and just looking for a way to put that out into the world that kind of brings people in and increases the community. Excited about Sage is working on the international email list, and how to organize that and get that together. The thing that's most exciting to me is how sometimes you come across the question, if time and money was not an issue, what would you do? And that question was posed this week, and I was surprised that the first thing that I came up with is what I would do is I would make it like one of my missions to have Shivambu be a common word internationally. And I don't know what percentage of the population has to be familiar with the word for it to be common, but I realize I feel like that's like one of the best things I can do. The best ways I can contribute to the world is by having people know what it is, regardless of whether they want to practice it or not. Just having people know what it is. And I also realize that that the way that has to be done is that we have to collect testimonies, because as soon as we go out there and say, hey, there's this thing called urine therapy, people, there's going to be all kinds of like, oh, but that's, this, and, the scientifically not, it doesn't, there has to be like a big collection of testimonies, which is, that's what I'm working on. But anyway, as I was kind of getting ready for the call, I just wrote down like listen and if you have any suggestions. So the word is out. New ancient approach to health that's free, tailored to you, safe, adjust to the current state of your body, will never go away, rooted in the timeless traditions of countless indigenous people. Join the growing estimated 30 million world community of practitioners. And then, so on and so forth, and click here to find out more. So anyway, if you have any suggestions, send them my way. That's really, that's the tip of the iceberg for me, is to have Shivambu be a word that is in common usage in the world. Yes, Indira.
Two suggestions. One is you look at already written material that we have. What is that they have used? The language, the experience, like Armstrong or Rajiv Patel, all those books, they have some language that they are using that is their mind, their thought force made them write that. So that is one aspect. Secondly, I think if we just put aside even like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you are very busy, and also we have to have our living taken care of. But if we have 5 minutes, why not think about the bigger picture and creating a thought force? We may not be connected to these people, but they will get the spark because you are thinking with purity. You are thinking with love, unconditional love, no expectation. That will reach to people who really are receptive or they need it. I mean, that is and this is what I've been doing. I think that this Shivambu in Boulder has come up because I have been thinking for, 10, 15 years.
It's all because of you, Indira.
No, I won't take the credit, but my thought force helps the bigger picture at some point.
I would like to, can we get together, you and I, on creating that thought force for this kind of usage?
We can do right now.
I will give you an example. We're checking in right now, but let's do it a little later on the call.
Well, why don't we just take this time to do our prayer? We haven't done our prayer this morning.
Woo.
But anyway, Indira,
Yes.
I would like to collaborate with you on the thought force aspect of this.
You are on.
Okay.
Suzanne, grab some water. Everybody grab something to drink. You know what I drink.
Hey, Suzanne, nice to see your face.
Hi, I thought I'd join you.
Great.
Thank you for being willing to play with us.
I like to play, so let's do it.
All right, so let me bring out the prayer. Let's do the prayer officially. It seems to work really well. You ready? We're going to do call or response. This is Indira's flask of her Shivambu.
Yes.
By the way, 2 years ago, I was able to change some of the wording on Wikipedia. They let me go into where it has the listing for urine therapy and add the word urotherapy and Shivambu. It was never there before. When I tried to edit it the last couple of weeks, they blocked me, but Shivambu stayed. So it's still there.
See?
Cool.
Excellent.
So here goes. I take this water of life.
I take this water of life.
I declare it the water of light.
I declare it the water of light.
As I bring this water within this body,
As I
bring this water within this body,
it allows me to glow.
It
allows me to glow.
I take this water of light.
I take this water of light.
I declare it the water of God.
I
declare it the water of God.
God.
I am the master of all I do and all that I am.
I am the
master of all that I do and all that I am.
So be it.
Thank you.
And Suzanne, this is the kind of crowd we hang with.
I like it already. Very nice.
So who hasn't, Suzanne, give us 2 or 3 minutes of your journey. Anything you want to share with this community?
Well, hello there. I'm Suzanne from Phoenix, Arizona. And I started my urine therapy journey 6 days ago.
Wow.
Yep, pretty exciting. And I've already gotten off of my Vicodin. And I just feel like I'm more aware of all the medications that I've been put on to get them out of my system. And I feel like I'm more and more willing to do that because it's a scary, you know, when you're on that precipice of this journey of you're becoming open to all these new ideas of your body and how these drugs are interacting with your mind and your soul. I just feel like getting rid of them. I don't know how yet I'm going to do that. It's a process, but I'm excited to let go and see where this journey takes me. I'm very impressed and inspired by all of you who are doing this journey and have been doing it for years. It's amazing. How did I not know about this?
There's always a time and a place.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, you know, and you just barely gotten down this journey. So you've got a whole lot to learn. These are great resources that are on the screen, the Shivambu Hut, all the social media groups. There's more research to go, but just do a little something every day. And you start increasing it and you start saturating and you next thing you know, the water is guiding you. It doesn't have to be, it's not an intellectual process.
No, and I have dry skin. So when she was talking about her skin feeling so soft after putting urine on her skin, it just made me think, imagine going out in the sunshine and putting that on your skin and letting it soak in. That would be amazing.
Now, if you're concerned about any kind of sunburn or external, like Matt here, I go to these hot springs. I'm going back with the gang next weekend. We go to this hot springs place where it's clothing optional, and they're pulling out the sunscreen, blah, blah, right? So I go and grab my Shivambu, and I'm massaging all over me. And 2 hours later, they're still complaining of, oh, the sunburn, it hurts. And I laugh and I go, I got a great tan. I don't know what you guys are dealing with. So make it
So
your
urine it prepares the skin to receive the sun without getting burned.
Yes, and it also is the remedy for afterwards. So the sting goes away. It's the same if you get stung by a wasp. People know about a jellyfish, but if you're stung by a wasp, a bee, a hornet, the stinger drops out, the sting goes away, and the
Poison oak, poison ivy.
Poison anything, yes.
Even the chiggers.
Now, Suzanne, Christopher got rid of eczema. He had a skin condition, and he's got his story if you ever want to know about that.
From
Yeah, I mean,
inside
that's
or
how
outside?
That's actually how I got started. 30 years ago, I had eczema so bad on my skin, I had to wear gloves. And within a week of soaking my hands, it was gone.
So the soaking did it. Wow.
Yeah.
Or you can put on a compress with some cloth or some cheesecloth, whatever you got, and just leave it, soaking there, and add some more every hour or so. And you're just saturating those areas so the nutrients can go to work.
It seems to be speeding up the healing process, obviously. But instead of like preventing all this stuff, it's helping our body process it, right? Mm-hmm. Which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I mentioned before in some of these calls is that when you're in your womb, when you're in your mom's belly, and you're bathing in the urine, the amniotic fluid, you're drinking the urine, you're sniffing it, you're massaging it. Well, what comes with your body comes with an encoded information and energy of what perfect cells are. your body already knows how to regenerate and restore health and heal you. So when you give that water back to your body, it activates that wisdom and the body can go to work.
Wow.
Is that cool?
That's very cool.
Let's see if we can get Floor to talk to us. I know Sandy's having internet issues. Floor, you want to unmute and talk to us? Not getting it. Okay.
You can check in, Flora, you can check in on the chat. If there's something you want to say, you can check in on the chat.
Oh, no
Oh,
problem.
she's on a train. Okay.
No
All
problem.
right, and Sandy, I know you have trouble with the visual, but what about just the audio? Can you just unmute and speak to us?
So I have to as a state. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you can type anything in the chat group, either one of you guys, either Sandy or Floor.
Suzanne, you said you work for a naturopath, I believe, and we have a naturopath, specifically Darlene. I mean, everybody here is a naturopath in my mind, but she's certified in some way, shape, or form, and is doing research that's quite extensive. So maybe Darlene and your clinic can talk. I don't know.
Let's do.
Yeah, it's one step at a time. I don't know how. I pray that it all goes
Of
well.
course. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to rush you.
Indira and Christopher, I don't know if I told you that I had a gentleman send me some money so that I can send books to the libraries and to public places. Well, when I went and approached the downtown, the Boulder Library, they said, well, we can't accept it unless you have book reviews from well-established book reviewers and viewer companies. So I'm going to go another route. One thing I'm going to do, I think I'm sending a book to Suzanne so she can get it to her naturopath. And I'm sure there's a lot of places we can send books. If you have any ideas, just send them my way. So
Okay.
we can start presenting this to different people who will talk it up.
So, who's an example of a renowned book reviewer?
Well, there are companies that do the book reviews. I'm sure if you had like the New York Times or the Washington Post or one of those biggies, that would qualify you.
Okay.
Let me think about some people
to review it.
But like when you have, say, like art, you are a painter or you are a sculptist, review is who is doing it is open, So if we send it to somebody, that means it shows that we have vested interest in those people that we are sending. But independent review of a book is a very touch and go, because we will select them, we'll write a cover letter, send it to them, and it is their discretion if they want to review it or not. You see?
Do you have a way to get some reviews for some of these urine therapy?
Well, I will talk to Vijay and see what is the review process, how it works, in the academic arena.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Sage. So, do any of the other books that have been written? Well, first of all, are there any urine therapy books in the Boulder Library?
The only ones they have there are books that make fun of the subject.
Okay, so the serious books, are there any of those books that have been reviewed by, well-known reviewers?
None that I've found, and I've searched several times.
Okay, all right.
But I might have to go to other databases and other places to see what's possible.
That's a good start. That's a good start, that we have to go to the reviewers who have reviewed other books.
Other books other than urine therapy books?
No. Only urine, but people who have reviewed, they may review your books.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna also look in a database in some other cities and some other libraries. See if there's something going on here.
Can Indira do the thought force
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay. The way I know is we teach very systematic meditation, and you are meditating on your own life energy, the biomagnetism. Each and every cell is having connected to the biomagnetism in the center, and you can take it to different chakras, endocrine glands, bunches of endocrine glands. Chakras are nothing but bunches of nerves, and it is connected to the endocrine glands. You can look at it parasympathetic and sympathetic nerve system in a body. So when you meditate on those chakras, those endocrine glands, first of all, what it does is balancing your hormonal level in different areas. There are 7 centers. One is at the end of your spinal cord, then one below the navel, then the heart, then the throat, then your pituitary, then pineal. So once you clear these centers, you are able to really concentrate much more on your biomagnetism. So with your mind, you meditate on the base center, base of the spine. Then you can have all the other centers you can do, or you can just do over here or here. So when you are doing meditation on top of your head, which is called Turiya center in South Indian language, Tamil language, but it is nothing but you are really activating your pineal gland. Here, when you are doing meditation, you are activating your pituitary gland. So when you are doing on the top, the lower mental frequency will be between 3 and 7 cycle hertz frequency. And that is a very way to reduce your mental frequency. So you are opening yourself to other frequencies that are there in the universe. You see? So when you think something, when you meditate on something, when you concentrate on your thoughts, it has more impact, more horizontal way. It goes to the whole infinity. That's why learning a meditation which is very systematic, safe, simple, and way of maximizing the input to get to your thoughts. So again, I will ask you to share what meditation you do and who has taught it, because who has devised this system, that person's also thought force, his or her purity of intention works through us.
So what I hear you saying, Indira, is that if if I put my attention in my pineal gland,
Yes.
and I think, for instance, that if I say Shivambu common word, it's going to have more power.
Yes.
Than if I just think it randomly or with my energy somewhere else in my body or wherever.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
All right.
Because these days, so many people are doing meditation, but they don't know what is the maximum way you can reduce your mental frequency so you become more powerful, more aware, because you are at peace, because your mental frequency are lower when you are meditating here, and I see Matt agreeing or endorsing it. Tell me your experience, Matt.
I really think that the lower the brain waves, the less activity corresponds with the more peace. And my sureness from my direct experience comes from the inseparability of vast feelings, and silence. The vastness and the silence are absolutely the same thing in my experience. And then you spoke about tapping into maybe a lineage or somebody who used really
Yes.
correct terms. This is Ramana Maharishi,
Yes.
who taught self-inquiry and in the Advaita Vedanta tradition. And I have to say my heart is there. And his, one last thing, people call him Arunachala Shiva, right? Or consider him synonymous with that. And it's just fantastic that it happened to be Shivambu that came into my life after my interest in Advaita Vedanta, basically. I really go in that order in my mind. I'm very thankful. That's the other thing I want to say.
I think Raman Maharshi was very, very powerful. I mean, his thought force is vibrating the universe from each and every one of us who has understood him or has connection. Same way, all these realized beings, they have their thought force. They are gone, but the life energy is still vibrating with giving us the knowledge, ever evolving knowledge. And that's so beautiful because it is going, like you think about Buddha or Jesus or all the realized beings, how they are vibrating is only in the life energy particles. And they are earthbound or they are in the, maybe in the universe. But when you tap into their teachings, their beings, their energy, you are getting elevated every time.
Yeah, and people say the same thing about tapping into Christ consciousness.
Yes, yes.
The consciousness is what lasted the 2,000 years, not the historic figure.
That's right.
And that's what everybody seems to be tapping into, not so much a person.
And that's why we have to know what is consciousness. You see, consciousness is the order of function where the thought really registers, because the thoughts are there. They have left behind many, many teachings. Why we go back to it? Because of the power of that teaching. We are receptive to it to get into our system, to benefit us, benefit our family, the community, your country, and the whole world. There are different layers.
Speaking of influences, one of the now the mission of the Shivambu organization. By the way, Suzanne, you're meeting the major board of directors, the Guptas, Christopher, McLean, and myself. We're the foundation of the Shivambu organization, and one of our mission is to spread the education awareness of this sacred teaching to humanity. And so the newsletter, the directory, all these are ways to get the word out there so that people can find their way to it. Now, part of that mission that came through me when we first got this vision was to create an outreach program. That means to teach people how to teach people in whatever country they're in, so they can reach the people in their community or their local community without use of the internet. I know a lot of us found out about this thanks to social media, but more and more people are learning how to approach folks they know, their friends, their loved ones, and even strangers out in the world to offer them this gift. So that's some of the work we're doing, and love to have any kind of input about how we're being effective that way.
I would like, I was wondering if McLean, if we could get just like a more detailed kind of report on the newsletter, and just so people know about it, and we can get any suggestions. Is that something you're willing to do right now? You're muted. You're muted, McLean. McLean, you're muted. There we go.
I can do this by memory. I'm not pulling it up. what? There's an introduction, and then I'm looking for testimonials. I've got one. I'm going to interview someone this week. I worked with Sage and figured out how to use Zoom to do an interview with someone, so I could record it, and whether we put the recording up or I have it for the transcript. And I'm collecting. I have to cross-check the list of what we want. I have questions about, does everything go in every newsletter? I think it doesn't, but, and I can't tell if we're sort of close. Sometimes I think too long is too much. So I'd like it to be sort of concise and, have some punch, some articles of some punch. I've talked about, it's sort of, I'm doing like how to get started. You're
talking about newbies, how to get started on this journey?
Newbies, how to get started, and just the question of, what's the right way to do this? And there isn't a right way. And the whole thing of that you don't have to do age to have this work. And I have a bunch of pictures of protocols that I'm sort of working with. I think they might be too big. For me, I want to add some links, like links to what you're doing, working on now, Sage, and a list of books and the link to the Shivambu hut, and maybe mentioning Facebook pages. I mean, I'm still, I don't know what you're doing, Sage.
Oh, this is going to go to Suzanne's naturopath.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, Facebook pages, and yeah, if you list all those things, that's all stuff we can send you. So just
yeah. So it's coming along. My things I'm thinking about for future or whatever is because there's sort of questions and answers, or things, the idea of what's being discussed in the movement. One of my focuses is on aged and is on the sediment on the bottom. And again, I was just looking at Ormus. I just saw a posting where she's the administrator and someone who's into healing, and she said, oh, that stuff is called Ormus. And I just looked up Ormus, and Ormus is gold. Ormus is magic material. And yet we have someone in this group who's a naturopath who says it's not, she doesn't use the word poison, but it's not what is used. So I mean, the newsletter can show and talk about all sides, or
that's right.
More than one side. And
yeah, it in my perspective, it should talk about all sides. We should be a platform for discussion, and so that people can come to the newsletter to get all sides. They don't have to be wondering, oh, is this right? Is this, they can get other people checking in on this, so they can, feel somewhat held in the community and in the knowledge, the wisdom of this community.
Well, that and invited in for the discussion.
Yeah.
So, that's what's happening. We sort of talked about September 1st, but, I think once a month is probably too much. I mean, I don't know that I can deliver something once a month. And so it was like, oh, does this be a quarterly? Does this be every 2 months? I mean, we get to decide. Do we do it, every 3 months? And then, when we do it, we work towards making it once a month. I don't know, but that's.
Well, let's talk. We could talk about that, and and if we could decide on what would be the optimal frequency, and if that's too much for you, then we can pitch in on it. We can figure out what you can do and what you can't do, and then fill in.
Right. So that's what's happening.
All right. Well, thanks for checking in on that.
And McLean, if I haven't already, I will write you how to baby step people into starting.
Sure.
Because people ask, well, I don't know if I could drink 6 ounces right away, or because I got a friend who started off with an ounce and he's up to 4 ounces and he thinks that's quite an accomplishment, and I'm drinking a liter or 2 a day. So it's all relative, but we want to baby step people into here's how it goes. The first thing you want to do with someone who's got a negative association is say, all right, collect some pee, touch it. That's it. Just touch it. We want to form a new neural link to your brain. And notice that when you touched it, you didn't get sick and you didn't die. All right. Number 2, lick the urine off your finger. And you see, we're building a positive, whatever finger you use, I don't care. And then eventually you get them to a dropper, and then you get them to an ounce, and you just step them up. And some people going, I got it. I'm going up to 4 ounces, 8 ounces, whatever.
Right.
How's that sound?
Okay.
How's that work? Does that work for people?
That's good. Step by step.
I've got 3 people doing urine therapy already. It's been cool.
Oh, tell us some. Tell how, who, what.
Well, since my friends, I have very good friends, about 5 of them, that I've been sick, basically bedbound for 8 years. But I've always been researching and coming up with new ideas for them to try, just to make them feel better or whatever. And they're like, well, what are you up to these days? And I said, well, for 3 days, I've been getting urine on my finger, and I told them the pinky, get a little drop on your pinky and put it under your tongue. And they just like laughed at me. And I said, listen, this is oxygen to your system, oxygen to your brain. It's like ozone therapy. Now, these are just words I heard from Doc Mike doing a podcast with Dr. Jennifer Daniels. So that's how I got connected with Brother Sage. And so then my girlfriend that I was sitting with, she's like, so are you saying that if I put, and then we started talking about it, she said, if I put that on my daughter who gets bee stings all the time, like they're attracted to her, if I put that on the bee sting, will it heal faster? And I said, I've been told from what I heard is that if she's drinking her the antigens, or I don't know the correct wording, but with her urine, in her urine, if she's drinking that she will not have an anaphylactic reaction the next time she gets a bee sting. Now, am I correct in saying this, or am I off?
Yes, you're correct. And if you'll remind me, we have a video with Andrew Norton Weber. He talked about how he was so susceptible, his body would shut down when he got stung by a bee or whatever he was allergic to. And he said all he had to do was take a drink and the effect went away like that. And he talks a lot about it.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So she has 4 daughters, and one daughter is fair-skinned and fair-haired, and she's the one that's susceptible to bee stings. She gets hives easily. And she is getting her started with her pinky, because right now the little girl is like, no, Mom, that's gross, but just putting the little pinky, it's not a big deal, under your tongue. And she's like, but I don't taste it. It's fine. And now I think this is her 3rd day, because I'm on day 6, and I started talking to them on day 3. And now I am up to a tablespoon every morning and every night in 8 ounces of water. This is just how I've started. And she's getting her daughter to do a little dopper full. I don't know how many ounces, or if there's a teaspoon or whatever, but is it okay to be drinking it in 8 ounces of water?
Totally fine. It's more of a homeopathic version because it's going to be thinned out, but it still has some juice in it, still has some power in it.
Yeah. So like, this is like, you guys are, woo, way beyond what I'm just getting started. And so hearing all this, I'm just like, okay, open your mind, Suzanne. It's okay. Like age evolved urine, whatever that means. Okay. Because it's new. I mean, I thought urine was weird before, and now I'm on day 6 and I'm feeling better. And now I'm hearing all of you who have done it for years, and the stories are amazing, skin falling off, clearing up your toenails, whatever, yeah, I'm interested in this evolved urine now. Like, what's that? I want to see black urine. What's black urine? What's that?
couple things to say. I'll grab the black urine real quick.
Everybody grab your black urine.
Good God.
Everybody's got black urine.
How does it get,
Just-
I have
just
black,
wait.
I have black urine, but why is some black and some not, Matt? Well, what?
Yeah, you know, the aged urine discussion has a lot of facets, and it seems to be like, you know, depending on the person. But I want to go further than just saying that. Black might just be a stage, too. It's not the end all be all. But yeah, like this dark brown or red is in there too. Like mine's not totally black, but it's getting blacker, and like that's kind of cool. When it's in my tub, it's like black. But if you take, yeah, look at that, yeah, yeah. Has anybody ever seen it go from black to like clear? There's that a rumor.
South India urine is the best.
Oh, you.
I have dark, but I never know which is gonna produce dark and which not, so.
Oh, when you soak in it, it gets darker.
Right, but what about when it's
Oh.
in my jars?
You know, the more you do things that structure water, the faster the color change. How's that for an idea? What do you guys think?
Great idea.
Cool. Many things structure water, including the human being. So the soaking in it. And by water structure, the best way to notice if water is structuring, in my opinion, is how smooth it is. And if you're soaking in it, how much it almost feels like air. It's so soft. That softness really correlates with all kinds of water structuring, from
Hey, Matt.
light to other things. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, do you think that, you know, I know that running water is more structured than stagnant water.
Active
Do
water.
you think that when you run your aged urine through your cheesecloth, that it's structuring just because it's running?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a really liberal definition of structure and many types of structured in my mind. So with that caveat, yes. Oh, the other thing I want to share. How about we just take some of these old classic books and make a section in the newsletter, the Armstrong section, the Christie section, and we take a testimonial from there, and every newsletter we just go through the book in order, copy paste.
Okay, so it would be the classics or something like that?
I was thinking testimonial centered, the testimonials
okay.
from the
Well,
classics.
we do have a testimony. That is one of the sections of the newsletter is testimonies.
Great.
But you're
You
saying
know,
to actually get them from so a lot of the classic books have a lot of testimonies in them?
yeah.
They do. And if you'll go to Shirley's Wellness, I'll have to get you to Shirley's Wellness website. She's got lots and lots of testimonials. She is somebody I would love her to join us. She's been teaching urine therapy for 20-something years.
Have
So,
you ever interviewed her?
No, I haven't been able to get her. Shirley Lipsum is her name.
so my question about all the testimonials, I mean, there are tons of them. They're on, you know, the websites I'm on, but then we have to get in touch with the people,
If they're
get they're
alive.
okay.
Well, wait a minute. If a testimonial is on a website, it's already they've already given permission for it to be public.
Well, that's what I wonder about. Is that true? We can just
Well,
take it and,
Some people just put their initials or put an alias.
oh, right. You could do that. Okay.
So do you think that people are going to question testimonials and they'll need some kind of proof, or testimonial stands for itself?
I
No.
think that a testimonial with some kind of, you know, some kind of designation of who you are, it works, you know.
Validation.
Confirmation.
Confirmation. What do you mean, Indira?
Validation means those people who have given testimonials,
Yeah.
if they need to be contacted to validate
Yeah.
that, you know, that
Yeah.
can open up another conversation with people, you know, because people want to know, oh, somebody said something, how can I believe, you know, and on the internet and anything
Well,
is possible.
You know, I think with the testimonials, we're gonna we're going to gain credibility by the numbers of them.
Yep.
You know, rather than, all right, here's this testimonial and I want to validate this one person. You know, it's like, I don't think that's the route to, I don't think that's the most efficient route to go.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, here's one. Hey, McLean, whenever you come across a site with a bunch of testimonies, can you just send me the link?
To the site.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody, you know, so I am in the business of collecting urine therapy testimonials. If you could just send me, you know, and what's a gold mine is if there's a whole site with a whole bunch of them. If you could just send those to me, I'll put in case you don't know my email, I'll just put it in the chat. But that would be great to get help in that way.
You
Okay.
asked for it, brother. You asked for it. You're going to get more than you asked for.
All right, well, that is the ticket.
By the way, I don't know if we want to go to this extent, but I have people who have testimonials from healing multiple sclerosis and various other diseases who are probably willing, like Danielle Graham out there in Las Vegas. I met her at the symposium in Las Vegas a few years ago, and she came into the room on a wheelchair, got up from the back of the room, walked all the way to the front, gave her testimonial, and she couldn't do that a year ago. And so there are the people who are alive today that have testimonials. You think it's worth the while to have them do a video?
Yes.
I think videos are
Videos be great.
That's like the cream of the crop, you know, in terms of testimonials, because, you know, it's like, there's the person, the words are coming out of their mouth, you know, it's like, you don't need validation. It's right there, you know.
The thought force.
Maybe we can call what I was referencing, if we do it, like the classics. I forget what maybe the section title you mentioned, McLean, but I think I would try to do two things at once with this section: both promote the classic texts and easily, you know, use their testimonials and have a consistent part of the newsletter without much effort. And then we don't have to, like, you know, keep writing about how good the texts are. There's the, you know, the name of the book and the author, and just every newsletter there's another passage from it.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Testimonials.
That's where I thought you were going to begin with, Matt, is that we have a classic section and we just take, you know, a paragraph. Every newsletter has a paragraph from a classic, you know, and
That's what I'm saying. That's all. Yeah, you know, it's simple and easy.
And that's something that you can do every newsletter and have a section just for that.
I think if they're all passed away, it's all good, right?
It still stands. The testimonials are testimonials.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
all right. Well, I need to leave soon. Can we?
We did our hour. We did our hour. So guys, do you know how to reach, Suzanne, you know how to reach me, so you can always reach, if you want anybody else's contact information, let me know. We'll hook you all up.
Yeah, I put my email in the chat. So ChristopherMcClure@gmail.com.
Great.
And Suzanne, one of the things I'm doing is I'm asking people wherever they live to see if you know anyone else in your city or state that does this practice, and can we get them listed in a directory?
Okay. I'll get my minions.
Put them to work.
Oh.
Indira, last few words. We're coming to a close.
Okay, well, Chris, let's schedule our meeting and share some thoughts about how to increase your doing meditation here
Mhm.
and passing that thought force.
Okay.
We'll work
We-
on it.
Can we do that next Saturday when we have our alternate week local meeting?
The 4th.
We can do that. Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. And
Okay.
Sage, did you talk to McLean about whether she wanted to be involved with that?
Involved with what, the directory?
The board meeting?
Yeah, I invited her to be a part of our board meeting. McLean, how do you feel about joining this group?
You know, I'm happy to do it when I'm available. You know, next week I'm not available, and
Okay.
then
All right.
so, but when
Okay.
I am,
All
I'm
right,
happy
so we'll
to.
just keep us posted on that. It's alternate to this meeting. And Indira, so next week, I guess we'll plan on a in the flesh meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, September 4th is the next scheduled Shivambu group,
You mean this group?
our group. Yeah, no, not the Zoom call, but our local group,
The board.
the board of directors.
Okay.
Next week is not the 4th though.
I know, but next week I'm in Valley View. I'm
I see.
offline.
Okay, that's news to me. All right.
All right, blessings, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, lovely to meet you all.
Nice to
Bye.
meet you, Suzanne.
Bye.
Bye.
Well,
I'll have
everyone.
this uploaded later.
Yeah.